Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Smart with Your Money Live. I am Chase Peckham, the Director of Community Outreach and Education at the San Diego Financial Literacy Center, the education arm of Debt Wave Credit Counseling. And as always, I am joined by my compatriot, my buddy, Felipe Arevalo, who this week, this has got to be right up your alley, bud, because you are the ultimate gaming dad that I know. And believe it or not, us parents complain all the time about how much time our kids spend on their screens. And yet, if they're going to be there, we can teach them something.
Yeah, this is my thing. Aside from maybe a road trip or hiking episode, this is my thing. So I'm excited. Smart with Your Money Live, gaming, financial literacy. Stick around. I'm going to figure out how to get that hiking one in here. But today we're talking games and we're talking money, and how can we learn a little bit about money and what lessons we can learn. Maybe you learned along the way, you didn't even realize it, and then what lessons you can use and incorporate for the little ones. So we'll get right into it. Can you learn from games? Absolutely. In fact, it might be the easiest way to learn or to teach in some cases, if you can get the kids excited about playing games and they don't realize that they are in fact learning money
and life.
Yeah. So there are games specifically designed to teach money. We with partnering with our local credit unions here, we've done several Bita Reality simulations. This is done in classrooms at colleges. We got another one coming up here in the spring, another two at local high schools. Super fun. They download the app, they play the game as they go, and they learn about money. You have Junior Achievement here in San Diego in their Biz Town. There are a lot of different games online. If you're specifically looking for something where you're going to sit down your kids or yourself are going to play and say, I'm going to learn a little bit about money. And they're great. I love doing Bita Reality. It's the only time I could ever be a car salesperson.
It is really, really cool. And it's really interesting to see how these kids, when they have like this life given to them, and then they've got to make it work financially, the decisions that they make originally and versus the decisions that they ultimately end up making is pretty incredible.
Yeah, always fun. Like, I'll get the luxury car. I'll give my spouse the bus pass.
Yeah, good luck with that.
With that, buddy.
Or I love it how they're like, oh yeah, I don't need daycare. I'll just give them to my mom.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Figure that out and talk it over with your mom before you.
Right.
So, but let's be honest. Where are kids' attention? Sometimes where are our attentions as adults? According to the American Academy of Children and Adolescent Psychiatry, which is a mouthful, you thought the SDFLC was long. Kids 8 to 12 spend 4 to 6 hours a day using screens, and then teens spend as much as 9 hours a day on a device. I'm barely awake for 9 hours. But
that's insane.
That's where their attention is. And you could probably, you're watching this on a screen, and you could probably reach out and touch your phone wherever your phone happens to be. So it's where the attention is. So sometimes maybe they're going to be on there unless you just removed them, which, kudos to you if you have. But let's get more out of the screen time. Let's get more out of the gaming. Let's get more out of it. And let's incorporate some money into it, because money is everywhere, and video games and just games in general are no different. So we can try and get the money lessons out of it. And the money lessons can really start before you start playing the games, because there is a startup cost, especially when it comes to video game consoles. It's, you want a built-in lesson for scarcity and supply and demand. Try and pick up the latest console that first week it's out.
Right.
It's not gonna happen.
All the accessories that go with it and all the little toys they need to go and want to go with it.
Exactly.
They add up.
You can't have just one controller, because then how are you going to play against your buddies, or how are you going to play with your siblings? You have multiple kids that don't like the same games. They don't want the same. I want the blue controller. I want the white controller. There's a lot to it. You need that extra HDMI cable unit. This would be like the awesome setup. Whatever says this setup.
That gives me a headache just looking at it.
Great. But, It's money. Maybe you make it a financial goal. You want that new PlayStation, you want that new Xbox, you want that Nintendo Switch, whatever it is, gaming computer. How much does it cost? What are we going to do? How are you going to earn it? How are we going to earn it? How are we going to save up for it? There's a financial goal right there built in. We need this much money to buy the console. We're going to need at least one game. We're going to need at least one additional controller. We're going to need this. We're going to need that. We're going to need the other thing. Here's our total. Let's get to that total. Let's save. Let's cut back. Let's, that's what we did with our Nintendo Switch way back in 2019. I was going to bring it up here, but I forgot. And, we walked into Target, we played it. Barrington decided he wanted it. I decided I wanted it, but I couldn't just buy it right then and there because then it would have been a bad financial lesson. Like, hey, we're here for.
You would have been in teaching impulse buying. Is that what you would have done?
Really bad impulse buy to show up. And he's like, I don't think mom will care. I don't know. She probably will. I send you to Target to get one thing and you come back with a new Nintendo console. So we found out how much it cost and we saved up for it. And he values that console more than I think he would have if I just said, yeah, let's get it. So that could be a learning lesson in and itself. Save as a family to buy the thing. So, and maybe you say, I don't do consoles. I don't want to deal with that. I got my phone, I got my iPad, whatever it is. I'm going to play those free mobile games. They're not always free. So yes, downloading them could be free. And you do spend the time playing it. That's, not free in itself, but what about in-game purchases? You got special passes to special events so you can get the best Pokemon. You got battle passes for Call of Duty or Fortnite. You have special in-game currency, township cash to make your farm grow, whatever it is. And then you get tired of the ads and they say for $5 or $10 or whatever it is, we'll get rid of the ads. And that's where they make most of their money. And where the monetization has come from is you don't want to deal with the ads, pay me money, I'll take the ads away. And a lot of people do it. You used to find cheat codes, left, right, up, down, select, whatever it was, and then you can get the cheat code. Now the cheat code is that credit card. It's that real life money that you can advance the game further, get the cool things that everyone else has with real life currency.
Well, it's amazing. It's almost like you can compare it, the dopamine that these kids get from the excitement of upgrading and getting the new thing. And each of it's almost like drug use for adults. They get that excitement and they need it and want it that badly. Yeah. It's a brilliant business plan.
Yeah. I found
it just drives us parents crazy.
Right. I found a 2020 survey that 23% of parents who were surveyed allowed their kids to spend $100 or more a month on gaming, which I thought was a ridiculous amount. And 40% of parents limited their kids to $10 a month on a monthly budget for games and in-game currency. That still adds up when they have millions of downloads, and that's
that's crazy to me.
There are games, though. I've come up with a short list of 50. I'm joking, I didn't do 50. Games that teach money, and some more directly than others. You might remember the Oregon Trail and dysentery and the nightmares that caused. Well, it's back to terrorize your kids. You can download it and play it now in like the new consoles. I know my 9-year-old and my 4-year-old love the Oregon Trail. They got a little sad when some of their characters started dying off, but they'll figure that part out next. But there are games that are specifically almost designed to teach money, and I have a short list of some of them here. You've probably played at least one of them, I would bet. Even those of you who don't like video games, you may have played some of the OGs or original games, as we'll call them today, like Monopoly. Monopoly was a board game. It still is a board game, but we were mentioning with Chase, how many of you have ever finished a Monopoly game?
Yeah, I don't think I ever have. I have no memory of that.
No, I don't think I've ever finished one. But now in the digital virtual world, you can download it, play it, and then you decide, okay, this is it for today. You hit save, you can come back to it, and you can actually finally finish a Monopoly game on your Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, computer, whatever it is. And if you have little ones, it helps them with math, because my 4-year-old struggles with maths still, but it helps them with math, and it avoids the scenario where someone decides the game's over for me anyways, and there goes all the game pieces. But those games, Monopoly, Life.
Life. Remember the game of life? My
Yeah, Life
kids
is great.
played it on their phones all the time and they loved it.
Yeah, you get your career, you get to pick your
Yeah.
house, you got to pick. It was fun. It still is fun. And it brings that nostalgic feeling to us, I think, as parents when we start to see the kids playing the games that we played, albeit in a different form. But they're still playing Monopoly. They're still playing Life. So it's pretty cool.
Goes off the rails every once in a while, though, when your kid decides not to go to college and start some career and then he's making billions and you go, huh. He's like,
oh,
see, I don't need college.
exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
Okay.
then you have games like Age of Empires or Civilization. These games have been around since I was little. Again, bonus points here. You get to learn a little bit of history and a little bit about different ancient civilizations. But it's you're building a society. You're building a whole civilization. Yes, you're conquering other places and beating challenges, but scarcity. There's the in-game currency that you build from mining and collecting all the gold of the rock or the wood or with fishing or hunting and gathering to upgrade your towns, to upgrade your research, to improve your economy and put yourself in a better place to not get run over by other civilizations or to go out and adventure. And there's a money component. My kids love playing it, and especially my 9-year-old, he'll wake up I wake up sometimes on the weekend, he's downstairs on the computer playing Age of Empires. And yeah, you want to hear what I did with this civilization or that civilization? And look how much gold I have. Look how much money I have, or whatever it is. So he's learning, he's playing money, and he's really just playing video games. You just got to keep him away from the cheat codes, because then that kind of turns it all off. I'm like, I'll just type in a password and there you go, I'm rich.
So you can learn how to become a dictator. Is that what you're saying?
You can, yeah, that's kind of the game. The premise of the game is to conquer imperialism. But you have games like The Sims. It's a popular series. It's been around forever. I played it a while ago. I don't play anymore. It takes up too much time. But
well, and the fact that you live it yourself.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to pay bills on a video game. But you do on The Sims. You pay bills, you buy groceries, you start careers and build up your career, and furnish your home and build up your home. And oh no, now we have more kids. Now we need to add a bedroom or move. And there's a lot that goes with it. It's very intricate. It's like a full virtual life simulation. They speak some odd Somalian language. So you don't understand what they're conversating, but you get the little emoji things above their head, so you can, oh, that's happy. Oh, he's telling a joke. But very in-depth, especially with the technology improvements now. But you got to learn to cook. You got to clean, or you got to pay for someone to clean. You fix the fridge, or you don't fix the fridge and you pay for someone to come fix the fridge. All kinds of different interactions that happen within The Sims, and you run out of money, or you build a lot of wealth, and it could be generational wealth, all kinds of cool things that you can do on The Sims. I still have it. I haven't played it as much anymore, but my kids do enjoy playing it. Barrington enjoys playing it. Now I'm sounding like my kid plays a lot of video games, and honestly, he probably plays too many. But there's some lessons to it.
There's a lot of lessons to them.
Yeah.
If we can steer it in that direction.
When he runs up and like, my sim is broke. Well, you haven't sent them to work all week. I don't know what to tell you. Of course your sim is broke. But savings, making sure that you have that money to fix that refrigerator. You want to go even a little deeper, you have City Skylines, SimCity. Some of you might remember. I think City Skylines is a little more in-depth, but this is building a town, taking a highway exit that you start with and expanding, zoning, residential, commercial, industrial, trying to avoid traffic, setting up public transportation and public health and utilities and taxes. I mean, it's the whole thing. You're basically a mayor who has complete power and no checks and balances. You just do what you do and set laws and break and delete laws and do whatever. But the goal is to come up with turning your little lazy farm town into a giant metropolis, and you can kind of expand from there. Look, it's taxes, it's everything. It's everything that goes along with video games, and my kid loves playing it. Although sometimes, admittedly, he'll turn it on to like sandbox mode, where money is no longer an issue, and go crazy, and that's how he.
So he can just build and watch all the traffic jams that he can create.
Exactly, but at the same time, he's keeping an eye on the money. He's like, "Look, I'm losing this much money a day. That's so crazy." But it lets him keep building and not have to take out loans. But it does loans and interest rates, and do you take out a loan to expand, which will then increase your revenue? All kinds of different things. Is it worth the increased interest cost? Go crazy on this one. This one I've also played. Nintendo's big hit, Animal Crossing: New Horizons, sold over 41 million copies. It sold over 22 million in the first 4 months. Granted, that was the first 4 months of the pandemic, so I ran out and grabbed a copy too. There's nothing much to do, and someone said, "Look, you can live on an island and farm and or collect fruit and stuff like that." Lots of money lessons within this one.
Which is great. I think the younger you start with at this age, the better, because
and this one
this is when they're going to learn.
Yeah, this one could be the really little kids. I mean, my 4-year-old will jump on and play Animal Crossing and catch bugs and sell them and shake trees and get fruit and all this stuff, and then sell it so that he could buy the little knickknacks at the store. But you got economics lessons, you got finance, you have investing in the stock market, or they call it, you buy turnips and then you sell them at a gain or a loss, or in this case, they actually spoil if you hold on to them too long. But do you invest in island infrastructure? It's supply and demand, it's, all kinds of different financial stuff. It's really cool. You got to pay off your mortgage too, so that you can get another mortgage so you can expand and have the bigger room so you can fit all the stuff that you've inevitably been buying.
That's awesome.
It's really cool. Admittedly, I have played it. I don't play it anymore, but at the beginning of the pandemic, there's free time. I had to build a man cave in Sarah's little house basement in Animal Crossing. So I had to go out and fish and collect all the different fish. It's really addicting, but you do have money lessons. You want to buy the sports thing and have a giant thing, you got to earn the money so you could buy it. Chase, this one I have not played. I put it in there hoping that you may have some feedback on this one.
I do.
I know it was big.
Yeah, it is still big. I think my son is kind of played out with my son and his friends, but it was big, and we had to watch it very carefully, not only for the amount of time that they were on Fortnite, because they would be in these civilizations and they would fight each other, but the upgrades, we talked about it earlier, the amount of real money that you needed to kind of elevate your status, elevate your player. And there was these things called skins that the kids went crazy for in the way that their person could look. So their individual fighter. And then, I believe it was Marvel got involved, so they got to have like Marvel skins, like all the different characters. So everybody got involved in this game, and it could get really expensive. It was a big conversation between all of us parents at parties or dinners or whatever it might be. So we had to set limits on what these kids could do, or they had to earn it themselves. But that was a double-edged sword, because then if they earned it themselves, they had to be on it 100 times longer. Right. So it basically was something that we had to watch very carefully, but it did, my son would save up his money for that kind of thing. So that the same thing with the console, everything else. Now he wants to save his money for food. So, cause I'm not paying he wants to eat out. It's not healthy. He spent $30 at Chick-fil-A the other day and said, "Well, Dad, you should pay for it because it's food." I said, "I didn't. We have food in the refrigerator." Same thing as your video games, but it's real life. So we're getting there, but it's all teaching.
it was like a shift in the gaming type thing. Fortnite, they came out and they said, here's this game, play it for free. And
Right.
if you want these extras, pay me money. And now
Yes.
you're hooked in. Now you're playing with 20 of your closest friends, and now, especially at a younger
Oh,
age, you're sending your whole classes
and you
playing.
want to talk about the Joneses next door, right? Or keeping up with the Joneses. Those guys would have FOMO so bad if this kid had like the newest skin or the
Dance
newest.
moves, the celebrations.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They all had to have it.
Yeah. It even caused some of these legacy video game makers like the Activisions of the Call of Duties to say, wait a minute, what are you doing? Here's this, play this one for free. We
Right.
want in on this industry as well. And Call of Duty started Warzone and that kind of thing, which that I did play, but I didn't put any real money into it. But you can tell the players that did, they had the cool. It's like, how does my guy look so lame and their guy looks so cool? They put real money into him. I'll just go out there
Yes.
with my lame character. Um, I'm the guy, you see the memes where people invite you because they're the bad player so you can get them into the really bad leagues. That's me. My friends need someone to get them into the bad league.
Now
I
you're
got you.
talking. Now you're talking a
I
language
got
I
you.
don't understand.
And it's like, I got you. My rating is really low. Uh, so
There's ratings.
yeah,
Huh?
like how, kind of like a handicap in golf.
Oh, okay.
So let's say if you wanted to get into a league where you needed to have a really big handicap, you invite me because, like you would in a golf league, you'd invite me because of my really
And
poor
we can
handicap.
beat you. Gotcha.
And then as a team, we're like, whoa, how'd they get into this league?
Gotcha.
Um, so my biggest thing, money games and video games playing growing up, I think was sports games.
Yes.
You know, this was a funny little meme that was going around. But the career modes, the manager modes, the owner modes. I still think MVP Baseball 05 was the best franchise mode yet.
Yeah,
So
I'm going to argue that
I'm
MLB The
excited.
Show is so good. At my
They're
son
so
plays
good.
GM and he has to build a team, and you can't just spend
Well,
unlimited. You have a budget. You've got to
yeah,
figure out how to build a team. It's pretty cool.
it is really cool. The thing with MLB MVP is that it also had the minor leagues, so you can do minor league contracts, and you build up your stadium, which they haven't really put into some of the newer ones. But regardless, you player contracts, you can't just be the Padres and go out and buy everyone unless you're the Padres in real life. But there was a limit to your
Right.
funds, and you had to
There's
pick and choose. Do you give that big contract to that aging player, or do you take a chance on some of these younger guys and hope that they develop?
checks and balances.
Yeah. FIFA was my thing. Taking the Wycombe Wanderers from the third division in England and playing with them and trying to make them the European Champions League champions in 4 or 5 years or whatever. And you start with little funds and you get more funds, and you hope you develop players that you could sell for, you could redevelop more players. Really intricate stuff. But I was just playing FIFA. I was just playing Madden. I was just playing MVP baseball, NHL, 2K basketball. Okay, so I played all of them, but
Yeah.
it was all money stuff built into it. Do I upgrade my arena, or do I spend more on players? Do I,
Is
there's
the
a
fan
lot that goes
experience
with it.
important? All of that. It's very
Right.
business oriented. It's really
It is
cool.
very business oriented, and it's super cool. And with technology, it's gotten even better. You could play as a player sometimes, get yourself drafted, work your way up, get traded to your favorite team from your favorite team, negotiate contracts, all kinds of fun stuff. And you're just talking money the whole time. And then you
Yeah.
get to play sports too. So that was a big one. And the list goes on. My list doesn't go on, but the list does go on. You got Mario running around collecting coins. There's gambling in games
That's
like
been around
Zelda.
forever.
Yeah.
Got to be careful of that.
Yeah.
Gambling.
Yeah. There's
You made a comment about what you were doing during the pandemic. I was going to say it's better than the poker tables that I was playing on with a bunch of our
FanDuel
buddies.
or whatever. Right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's the in-game currencies within all the different games for the most part. You have Roblox where you got to buy the little things to play the games, Minecraft modifications that you need to purchase, different storyline games like the Assassin's Creed series where you have to collect funds and build up your town or your island or your boat or whatever it is. And so there's a lot of money incorporated and hidden within a bunch of different games. And sometimes, you can find the money game or the money story within it. And then where's it go next? Where does it go from here? You have esports and streaming. My kid watches this dude Preston and his videos of him playing Minecraft and yelling. And the guy's got a series now, I think on either Prime Video or Hulu, one of the two. And just because he played video games and recorded himself playing video games. And now his wife has a series of her playing video games. And
both my teenagers, my daughter included, watch these guys. Well, my son watches people play Madden and watches them play MLB The Show. It's unbelievable to me that these kids will sit and want to watch somebody else play a game.
That's where my cutoff switch is. I can't sit there and watch someone play video. I'll sit there and waste my own time.
They're making some serious money. Some of these kids.
These people are making
for doing playing a game and recording it.
I told Barrington, I was like, buddy, we gotta get a camera and figure out how to play this. And he's like, Dad, you're not that good. I was like, I know, that could be our end. There's got to be someone who watches someone fail at video games.
That's your angle. Watch me, I'm terrible.
Exactly. Someone's got to do it. But, and then you have esports. There's tournaments with arenas full of people and lines of people up stage and running out and cheering on. And that's money. So there's all that goes along with it, and it all has money implications. So that's it for this one. Happy to take any questions if there are any. And thank you for joining. You can always continue learning. We have a podcast called Talk Wealth to Me, and you can catch it wherever you get your other podcasts. Check out the video game one coming out soon. We're gonna have to record that one. And then you enjoyed this one. Join us for the next episode. Music, your debt-free journey. You like that? I used a music quote. Music and your debt-free journey. This could be a fun one too. I've joked that this is the only reason I want to go back and get my master's degree, to figure I have a reason to do a research study on.
Can we play Don't Stop Believing the entire time?
In the background?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll come up with a playlist and then play it in the background. Each slide have its own little audio. That could be fun.
There you go.
I'll have to find the editor.
We'll get in trouble with Facebook for copyright problems.
You're right. Maybe I'll just play them on my guitar, which I can't do. So join us on for the next one. Thank you everybody for stopping by. Hopefully this was educational and made you want to go pick up a remote and start playing some video games.
Thank you so much, Don. Appreciate it.